Okay, for the benefit of the recording, today is Tuesday, April the 28th. This is class number 22 for Cad for Construction, spring semester at Monroe Community College. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work on this. And so we are continuing on right now, and we're coming into the last bit right here. So I got a couple questions for you guys. You guys can just direct your attention up here. What we're going to do right now, let's pull that down here. Okay, yeah. So I think have most of you got the winter project done and submitted? Okay, that's a yes. Okay. All right. Have many of you started the custom project yet? Okay, you have. Okay, you're just kind of
I've just started.
just started.
Balls
Yeah.
up, yep.
Okay, so you guys just kind of started it, maybe just okay the beginning, which is what I expected. Okay, because let me kind of lay this out. Let me make sure I give you. Make sure I got that you're here, Jakai. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do then? Let me go ahead and do this. Get this going here, and yeah, one thing I was going to say is yeah, I was just looking at this right here about the whole thought of where this might be useful. And so as I mentioned, Reddit's kind of a big thing. There's all these jobs in the area, and depending upon where you look, you'll have various kinds of things. But again, there's just a bunch that are out here. I just kind of did that. And if you're interested in like going outside the area, Revit's pretty much the way to go. So there's a lot of jobs out there. They tend to pay pretty well, but the thing is about it, it all depends upon what else you know right here. So, for instance, the thing that you guys are in, you guys are almost all in the civil technologies, okay? Being in civil technologies, there has become kind of like this dovetail thing happening right now between the civil industry and Revit, okay? Pretty much they work together. There's a topography, topology, and all that kind of stuff. Well, topography goes along with civil, and you're able to go ahead and work that. And Revit is actually being used, and the two kind of go together right now, which is happening. So, if that's something you're interested in knowing a bit about, one thing, and I didn't do it this semester, but last semester, what I did is I actually had some people come in from a local company right here, and they're just down the road in Rochester. And what they do is they actually use Revit, and they actually go out and they measure buildings using high definition scanners. I told you about this, didn't I, Alan? And so the high definition scanners are they're pretty beastly. There's these big, they sit on a table and they go like this, and then they use a laser to basically capture information. You've seen these things before, probably. If you haven't, they're pretty fascinating. But they capture all the 3D information, and once that's done, it's called a point cloud. And the point cloud is then taken. You actually put information there, and they're actually looking to hire people out of this program. They actually want that. So it's something that they do. And the good thing about this is this class actually is unique in that we don't really go deep and you don't get certified in anything as far as like there's no certification. It's a 2 credit class, but you do learn Revit and you learn a pretty good amount of Revit. And so learning how to model in Revit is all they're looking for. They're not looking for someone that's an expert. They want someone who's willing to go out in the field, capture information, and then build it in Revit, which is exactly what you can do when you step out of here. So the point about that is that there are opportunities. The other thing I'd mentioned before, I'll just kind of like bring it up again, as far as employability, what you got besides that is you have the ability to go ahead and to do HVAC or MEP. So that's HVAC, which is heating, ventilation, air conditioning, or electrical or plumbing. And all those things kind of, as you're working with those, they use Revit. And people want to hire people who they don't necessarily want to hire an engineer. They want a lot of engineers are out there. There's a place I used to work for called ADP. And what they do is they don't want to necessarily hire an engineer to do this. The engineer just kind of wants to mark it up and hand it to somebody. So those kind of jobs are what you could definitely get out of this right here. Learning the civil side of things, you could actually get a job with a civil company along with Revit. It's kind of a 1-2 punch. So I just want to give you an idea as far as like employability and why this is a good thing and why we're doing that. The other thing I was going to say is you guys have gotten done quicker with the stuff than I thought you would. Like for instance, typically the Winthrop project takes 5 weeks, 5 classes typically, and you guys kind of get them within 3 or 4 for the most part. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule. So I'd said that we were going to take the very final on the 19th. We're moving that up to the 14th. So we will not have it on the 19th. The 14th would be the last day of class, okay? Which I'm sure no one's going to have a problem with, okay? But anyway, everyone's, my high school students are just, you know, they're really hard to deal with right now. Do you remember what it was like when the weather's getting nice outside, trying to sit in class all day?
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. And so I'm kind of, anyway, so trying to keep anybody on task as next to impossible. But anyway, so we want to finish strong, then we want to break the tape, and we want to hit hard. Okay, so I'll do that. So this one, the custom project we're working on, that means we'll have tonight and then 4 more classes, a total of 5. So that's it. So if you've already got a pretty good dent in it, just use your time accordingly, and that's how we're going to work that right there. But plan it out well, and I do think using your first source is the way to go. I did want to point out one thing about this that I talked about before, but if you need to get other information, and I'm just going to go over here to this winter project, the spring one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into here. And I'm going to take your screens over just for a second to show how this works, because I think it's an important thing to be aware of. So let's say I've got this right here and I like it. I'm just going to take your screens over just for a minute. And I'm going to go over here and show the full screen. Oh, no, let's try this again. Okay, that should work. Full screen, and we'll go ahead and go to continue. Okay, so I've got this right now. Now let's say, as we're working with this, I want some other information. One of the things that you've got out here is there's a lot of content out here. But let's say you want to bring in more kitchen information. Let's say you want to put in a kitchen, and you want to put in some items such as like appliances or something else like that. Well, it's not necessarily all going to be here. Just to remind you, we talked about this before. These are going to be kind of limited, but you can get other things. So what that would mean is if you can't find it, you could easily go out to the internet and look for it. So this is what I mean right here. What you could do is 2 different places. First of all, if you go to the Insert tab and go over here to load out as family, you can go out here, and this is where you could just do a quick search. And like if you type in vehicle right here, there's no K in vehicle. All right, if you go to vehicle right here, well, there's nothing there. If I go to truck, there's some trucks here, okay? And if I go to car, there is, I don't see any cars. I don't think there are any cars. Nope, I don't think there's this. Nope, there's no cars. So and I don't think there's any, I don't think it's under automobile either, but I'll give it a try. Automobile, like there, and it's not there either. Okay, so you can find some stuff out here. You can find tables, furniture, all that stuff. But if you want to grab some other things, you can go out here and you can go out here and take a look. And I'm just going to go out here and I'm going to go ahead and just type in Revit cars. All right, cars. Okay, so just do that. And when you go out here, you can download cars for Revit free. And you go out here and you find these different areas. Okay, when you go out here, depending upon who it is, you can actually download these kind of things. Like right here, you got a Jeep Wrangler, you've got a police car, a Ferrari. I put in the Cybertruck and stuff like this, but you can download this stuff and you can put it in. So that's the kind of thing you can do. If this is furniture, like one of the things I'd mentioned to you earlier that my wife and I got in a big discussion about what we were going to do with our bathroom, and I actually was able to find exactly the appliances and so forth, exactly the plumbing fixtures and so forth, the vanities that we're going to do, and I built the thing. And once I built it, that's all she had to see. Once we saw it together in the tile, we were like, yes, we will do this. So finding these kind of things is just one of the things I always like to, it's one of the real selling features of Revit, is you can make it exactly what you want it to. And this is true if you want to put in, now for right now, walls are a little bit of a different thing. You can do walls too. If you want to try it, you can, but I gave you a default wall in the template. But if you want to do walls, you can do that. We haven't really gotten too much into that, but you can try it if you want to. The other thing you can do, though, is all this other kind of stuff, all this Revit candy, like cabinets or appliances, microwaves, all that kind of stuff. You can do that. Beds for kids, all that. It can all be dressed up really nicely, as well as exterior stuff like landscaping and so forth. So all those are things that you can easily download. So as we talked about last week, this custom home project is more or less, the last couple semesters I've taught this, my students have really kind of stretched out and had a lot of fun with it. They've really kind of done this. So think of it as kind of like a bit of a situation where you're going to just kind of give yourself a, kind of a what-if scenario. What can I do with this and so forth. Again, it's got to be a basement, a first floor, second floor, and you've got to have a total of 3 bedrooms minimum. You can have more if you want. Just be careful not to get out over your skis too much. And that's what you're going to do on this. Okay, so that is what we're going to do. So that's going to be the next 5 weeks. Is that going to? I think that should be ample time. Should be plenty of time right here. So if you get done a little bit early, you're going to get stopping place. Don't feel you got to stick around. And I'm here to coach at this point. I'm going to kind of coach you as you go through this stuff. So as you're going through this, that's where we're going. So then on the 14th, May 14th, that's going to be whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, from the sixth class from today. We will be having the final. That's it. All right. Does that make sense? All right. I'm going to let you guys go and work right now. So if you need to finish up any projects, go ahead and do that. If you haven't finished the winter project yet, go ahead and do that. And I will get in the process of printing those. I've only got 7 of those, so I think I'm missing some of your stuff. So if I don't have all those, 1, 2, 3, maybe she got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So anyway, if you haven't handed it in, get that handed in so I can get that to you. Also, as far as the PDF, so I can get it printed, make sure I have that because I want to send that and take care of that. Okay. So any questions, Al? Yes, sir. Yeah, what I wanted is, as far as that goes, whatever dimensions I had on the construction documents, I want those dimensions. So yeah. Was that on? Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. So I can go ahead and submit. I got to go in there and dig through that. It's which I'll do. So I'll take care of that right away. Okay. Any other questions? All right, I'll let you guys jump into it. And if there's questions, please bring it to my attention. Let's just start building it. And again, the best way typically with Revit is you start with the first floor, design the idea, get some ideas, kind of figure out what you think you want to do with it, and then begin to kind of work with it. Also, if you're not sure what you want to do, look up online. Just look like I showed you the thing about the home plan, right? I showed you like well, let me show you something real quickly here. This is something that I found out years ago. Did I tell you? I told you when I built my house that I basically got the idea of a home plan thing, and then I just adapted it. I kind of stole it, but I changed it quite a bit. But you're able to do that, and you go out to here, and I think it's just called home plans. Okay, home plans. I think it's right here. House floor plans. Yeah, and so you got these kind of things, luxury floor plans. And you go out here, you just kind of look at stuff. And you say, okay, let's say I like this one right here. Well, then typically what you do is you go into any one of these. And what you can do is go to like right here. And then typically it gives you at least a floor plan. So this is the kind of thing you can do to get like right there. That's enough right there for you to really get moving on this whole thing, just like, yeah, I like that idea. So this is just a great way to figure out something someone else has done, but you're going to model it for yourself and you can change it. It doesn't have to be exactly like this. That's the great thing about this. So that's like a, 3,000 square foot area right here that you have here. It's got a front porch, pretty nice. So this is the kind of thing you want to do if you're kind of starved for ideas. If you've already started it, that's fine, but you can be quite imaginative with this whole thing, and I've been pretty surprised at how people take it. In 5 weeks, it should be plenty of time to get this pretty far down the road. Okay, so let's work on that. Also, dress it up with renderings and so forth as you see fit, and that's where we want to go with it. So, any questions about this at all? All good? Okay, I will go ahead and give you your screens back, and then we will let you guys work, and let me know if you have any questions as you run along here.
Hey, Mr. Ray. So something I want to do different. I don't know if you've ever done this before.
Yeah.
It's called a conversation pit.
A conversation pit. Okay. Yep. Okay. Kind of like it's
Yeah, kind of a level down
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the living
yeah.
room. I kind of want to make this. I don't know if I'm gonna be successful though.
Yeah,
But
you could, and,
have
and
a
all you would do is I would not put the basement under there. I just
okay
have that kind of like hanging over.
hanging over. Okay.
But yeah, you definitely could. It's like they used to call those a groove room, back in
Okay.
the 70s. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's a thing, and
Yeah, and they got like stairs that kind of go. It's like your couch is in it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
down about 2 feet maybe.
You sure could. And so remember, you're using levels. And so what you
Okay.
would do is when you create that right there, you could
Mhm.
just go ahead and create another level. And, so you go to an elevation and you can
Mhm.
say, I want this to be sunk down this far.
Okay.
And then, yeah, you could certainly do that.
Okay.
Because it's essentially, think of it like as like a split level type thing where you
Mhm.
actually step down into an area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
And
it's,
maybe like add like 2, 3 steps to go
yes,
down and
yes.
then okay.
No, it's actually, I'm trying to think of it because I just was in a house recently. Oh, well, actually was, when Trump got shot this weekend.
Oh.
The Hilton, the
Yeah.
Hilton right there. When you go to the Hilton, they got a big sunken area.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
thought of that.
Yeah.
So when you said that, it's kind of sunk down 2 or 3
Mhm.
steps, just like you said. But it's
Mhm.
kind of like an intimate type thing because
Yeah.
you're kind of surrounded by stuff and so forth. But yeah,
Mhm.
so what you would do is, as you're working with it, you would go ahead and if I was going to do that in this kind of a thing, I've got this right now. I could go to level 1.
Mhm.
And then if I wanted to do this kind of thing, I could actually go ahead and I could create a second floor and actually have it sunk in. So just to
Okay.
show how you could do it.
Mhm.
Now
You
over
would
here,
change the elevations here, like
well, you could certainly do that. Just drop it down a little bit.
okay.
But if you go over here and go to your east, north, and so forth, if you go to
Mhm.
here, see these are your levels right here.
Okay.
So this is where what you could do is make a 1.5, a level between these two. So you'd make it like a half
Mm,
level right there,
okay.
and just drop it down, maybe like 5 feet or something,
Gotcha.
or 3 feet lower than this.
Mhm.
So you could definitely do it that way.
Okay.
And so then you just use that. Or you could just put it all out here and just drop it. You could do
Okay.
that too. Either way, you
Okay.
don't have to make a level, but it might make it easier to kind of keep track of it.
Yeah.
But since it's just going to be one area,
Yeah.
you
It's like
don't
a
have to
one.
do it,
Yeah.
but you could just sink it, like and just have a lower floor and this kind of thing. So yeah, definitely
Okay.
doable. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll work through it and see.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful. All right. All right.